Hi, third grade. Welcome back to part 2 of Amazing Wildlife of the Mojave. In part 1 of our lesson, we learned about different amazing animals and how they survive the desert environment. In this lesson, we're going to learn about many more animals in the Mojave Desert. Let's begin.
Escaping the heat. Desert animals are all alike in one way. They find ways to avoid midday heat. Different animals do this in different ways. Most of them rest during the hottest time of day. They are active in cooler times, such as mornings, evenings, or at night. Different animals avoid heat in different ways. Scorpions usually hide in shady places. However, if a scorpion must be out in daytime, it can stand tall on its legs. This is called stilting. It keeps the scorpion's body from touching the hot surface. A snake, of course, cannot stilt because it has no legs. On a hot day, some snakes and lizards crawl up into bushes. There, the air is cooler than on the hot soil surface. A scorpion uses its legs to raise its body above the hot ground.
After reading Escaping the Heat, what is one way desert animals are alike? The text says, desert animals are all alike in one way. They find ways to avoid midday heat. But all animals do not handle the heat in the same way. How does a scorpion avoid the heat? To avoid the heat, scorpions usually hide in shady places or they stilt, which is when they stand tall on their legs. How do snakes and lizards avoid the heat? This sentence says on hot days, some snakes and lizards crawl up into bushes.
Most desert animals also escape the heat by seeking shelter under bushes, rocks, and other shady places. Black-tailed jackrabbits sprawl in the shade. They lose body heat by panting or breathing rapidly. Heat is also given off from many tiny blood vessels in their large ears. A jackrabbit's long ears help it stay cool.
There is information about scorpions, snakes, and black-tailed jackrabbits. I can reread the section about how each animal is able to escape the heat of the desert. Scorpions are able to stand to keep their body from touching the hot ground. A snake is able to use its body to crawl up into a bush. And jackrabbits can breathe quickly to lose the heat from their body. Their large ears also help them keep cool. Each of these animals have a special way to escape the heat. Their bodies have adapted over time so that they could survive in this hot desert environment.
Cool and safe underground. Many desert animals seek the coolness of underground burrows. The afternoon soil temperature may be as hot as 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Just a foot or two underground, the temperature might be 85 degrees. Burrows protect animals from heat and also from cold. Desert nights are often chilly. Winter snow sometimes falls in the Mojave. Desert tortoises spend most of their life in burrows they dig. They come out in the spring to eat plant leaves, flowers, and fruit. Because their burrows are big and often several feet long, there is room for other animals too. A tortoise burrow is an excellent hiding and resting place for kangaroo rats, rabbits, snakes, lizards, owls, and other small desert creatures. Some join a sleeping tortoise. Others use an abandoned burrow. These owl chicks make a comfortable home in this abandoned burrow.
What is the reason many desert animals use underground burrows? The text explains that the desert can reach up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So these burrows protect animals from the heat and also from the cold. During the day, burrows shield animals from the hot sun. At night, when the desert can get cold, burrows help keep animals warm. The text says that desert tortoises spend most of their lives in the burrows they dig. I know that they're doing this to avoid extreme temperatures, but thinking about how slow tortoises are, why else might a tortoise want to live in a burrow? The selection says that many animals burrow underground to stay cool. I also know that tortoises are very slow and cannot defend themselves well. So it seems like spending their lives in burrows is a good way for desert tortoises to protect themselves from the heat and from predators.
Some desert animals also use their hideouts in a different way. In the evening, scorpions wait just inside their shelters for their next meal. A lizard, beetle, or even another scorpion might pass by. These moving animals make ground vibrations that scorpions can feel. The vibrations alert scorpions that an animal is nearby. Some scorpions can sense vibrations in the air caused by a flying insect. They can reach out and grab a low-flying moth. The hard shell of a desert tortoise protects it from predators.
I can reread to remember that animals move to burrows to stay cool during the day and to stay safe and warm at night. But the burrows can be dangerous. They might find a predator already inside using the burrow too. Some animals hide just inside and wait for prey to pass by. Then they pop out to eat them. So animals must still be very careful when they use burrows to stay safe.
Morning warmth. Desert animals have many different ways to avoid overheating. Sometimes, however, they need to get warm. At night, the desert air is quite cool. By dawn, some animals need to warm up. Lizards and snakes crawl to a sunny place. They turn their bodies toward the sun to raise their body temperature. Desert iguanas have an amazing ability for warming and also for cooling. They change color. In the morning, their skin is dark. This helps them absorb heat from the sun. Then the day gets hotter and hotter. By early afternoon, the iguana's skin has turned white, reflecting sunlight. Then, as the air becomes cooler in the evening, their skin darkens again. The desert iguana's skin turns pale in the afternoon to help it stay cool. The desert iguana's skin is dark in the morning. This helps the animal warm up.
On the previous pages, we read that a problem desert animals face is trying to keep cool in the hot desert. What is another problem that desert animals face? Another problem that desert animals face is warming up after a cool night. How do desert iguanas warm up and cool off? The text explains and shows photographs of lizards changing color to warm up and cool down. When they want to cool down, they change their color to a light color so that it reflects the heat. And when they want to warm up, they change to a darker color so that they can absorb the heat.
Like iguanas, some birds need to warm their bodies after a chilly night. Roadrunners turn their backs toward the sun and raise their body feathers. Their skin is black. It absorbs sun energy. When warm enough, roadrunners join in the competition for food. They dash to hunt for lizards and small snakes. Roadrunners live very well in deserts. Like all the other Mojave animals, they are wonderfully adapted to thrive in a dry, hot environment. So are scorpions, jackrabbits, chuckwallas, and tortoises. They all make the Mojave a lively, fascinating place. This roadrunner cools off in the shade of a tree. After warming up, this roadrunner is ready to run fast to catch its prey.
How do roadrunners warm up? The text says, roadrunners turn their backs toward the sun and raise their body feathers. Their skin is black. It absorbs sun energy. So underneath these feathers, they have dark skin that when they lift up the feathers, it allows the sun to hit their skin and absorb that heat. What an amazing and smart bird. At the beginning of this text, We asked the essential question: how do animals adapt to challenges in their habitat? By reading this expository text, Amazing Wildlife of the Mojave, we learned that animals have different ways of adapting to challenges in their habitat. Some animals have adapted their physical features and characteristics to survive, so their bodies have changed. All right, boys and girls, that is our lesson on the amazing wildlife of the Mojave. Thanks for watching and learning with me today. Bye for now.